You're live.
Well, following the terrible attacks that took place at the Jewish synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that left 11 people dead, multiple others injured. The age ranges with this, as far as people that died, were anywhere between 54 and 97. In fact, the 97-year-old that passed away in this shooting was actually a Holocaust survivor. So, here this person is, and then losing their life in this just cowardly act of anti-Semitism against the Jewish people in this synagogue. It's just uh, truly, it was a horrific scene that took place. Well, a prophecy has come out from Jennifer LeClaire over at Charisma News, and I'm going to post a link in the description. You guys can check that out in full, but I want to talk about it here for a little bit. And before I forget, if you guys wouldn't mind clicking the like button on this video, sharing this video with your friends and family, and also giving the channel a subscribe if you are new, because I really think that you are going to like the content you see here. But what Jennifer had to say is that God spoke with her and said, these attacks that you see against my people, against the Jewish people, expect to see them on the rise. That this anti Semitism is going to ramp up even more against them. He went on to say to her that, as we know in the last days, we know the end goal here is that the Lord is wanting to get as many Jews to return back to Israel as he possibly can. It says that in the Bible that the Jews would return back to their homeland once again in the last days. Now, right now, they're spread across everywhere, and you've heard stories about how they've already been, a lot of them, many have already been returning, back to Jerusalem. But of course, we have many in the United States that are still here. And he went on to say that over the next couple of years, that these are in fact going to intensify. They're going to become more frequent, where you're going to be seeing attacks like this, discrimination attacks against Jews, are really going to be on the rise. He says, but what I want my people to do, and he says, don't just look at Jerusalem as, you know, as just being in Israel. He's like, think of the Jerusalem that's here in the United States as well. He says, wherever you see, a congregation of Jews, he goes, think of that as its own little mini Jerusalem in a sense, to where they are, wherever they're at the time. He says, my goal is to get them to Jesus Christ, to get them to accept Christ as Savior. Because many have not. Many have not been led to Jesus Christ. They don't know him as the Messiah. Now, the Messianic Jews do. In fact, that was one of the other things that the Lord revealed in this prophecy, is that the Messianic movement, the Messianic Jews, were in fact going to be praying and helping lead other Jews that did not know of Jesus as Savior, as Messiah, to the Lord, to accept salvation. So that's a huge point there. Went on to say in the prophecy that as Christians, we need to be doing everything in our power to pray for the Jewish people, to continue to stand with them through thick and thin, not just in Israel, but also here in the United States as these attacks begin to really amp up. This is going to be something, and of course, you don't like to talk about it. You don't want to do that, but it is something that we know at the times as far as where we're living now. Now, the Lord said this. He says, as far as the number of attacks go, he says, if my people are praying, he says, the more prayers that go out for my people, for the Jewish people, he says, I am going to build a hedge of protection around them to protect them. His goal is that they would come to salvation. And of course, eventually those that are going to go back to Israel are going to go back to Israel. But the Lord really, I guess, wanted to impress the point that this is probably not going to be the last time that we see something like this. And you're going to hear your news media and everything like that. They're going to speak out against Israel, and they're going to say, we blame President Trump because he moved the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And we know how anti Semitic that the media is against Israel, especially the United Nations. You look at them, you look at what the things that they've tried to do to Israel, the bias against them, the hatred for them. It's just grown to levels of just to where it's become almost unfathomable to even see, to even believe. But in fact, it is happening, and it's going to be on the rise. So as a Christian, it's very important we stick with the Jewish people, that we're here for them, that we share the gospel with them, tell them about Christ, tell them that he is, in fact, the Messiah, and lead them to the Lord. As this is for sure dangerous times that we're living in. But the more you pray, the more you stay focused on God, and hopefully we can limit these attacks. And as we do, he'll protect us, and he will in fact protect his people. So again, I'm going to put the full link in the description. You guys can check that out if you want to read the prophecy in full. Jennifer goes over a couple of very key prayer points that the Lord gave to her for us to use in this time, if you in fact want to pray for the Jewish people, for protection on them. So you'll see that in there as well. So again, guys, thanks for checking this out. Please share this video, get this video out, so we can get it to as many people as possible, so they can be aware of what's going on, and the word that has gone forth from the Lord. All right, guys, I'll be back with more. You guys take care. Please be safe out there. God bless each and every single one of you, and I'll talk with you soon.
Finish button. Are you sure you...